Hey guys, it is NCS Fan 001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list updates. Today's date is Monday, March 11th, 2024. So this will have covered the week of March the 4th through the 10th of 2024. So this wasn't a super productive week because, as you guys might know if you saw my live stream earlier in the week, I ended up having to run home for a few days over the weekend in order to get some stuff prepped for a wedding I'm going to in April. It is a wedding I am super excited for. It's the same guy that we're doing the bachelor party in Vegas. I am probably going to try to vlog at least a little bit of that trip. I mean, we're going to be more focused on having fun, and there are certain places I know you can't film in Vegas. I'm assuming you can't film in, like, the strip clubs. I don't know about the nightclubs. I know you can't film while you're playing table games, obviously, at the casinos. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to all that. But I had to go back home for some stuff with that. And then this coming weekend, there's going to be some more stuff for that. But I don't think it's going to really interfere with streaming this time. So hopefully schedule should be a lot more normal this week. In fact, probably quite a bit of streaming. Okay, so the new DLC for Fallout 76 is not on there yet. But I think we still got a couple more weeks till that comes out. Anyway, I made progress in either 3 or 4 games this week. Was Lego Batman 2? Nope, finished Lego Batman 2 last Sunday. That's what I was thinking. So, the first game I made progress in is Dead Rising 2 for the PS4. I finally cleared the co-op trophies. Thank God. So, let's go ahead and go down to that. So yeah, finally cleared all the case files in co-op. It only took almost a month from when I was initially trying to do it. So let me go ahead and reiterate what exactly happened with this co-op. First and foremost with that, the multiplayer portion I had no problems with. My group got through it in like 3 hours over the course of one night with no issues outside of the servers not being the best. So that wasn't a problem at all. We had no issues with that. But with the co-op, it was another one of those scenarios, just like with Modern Warfare 2 from 2022, where just everything that can find a problem, everything that can go wrong, does manage to go wrong. So the original partner I had, he was already at like case 6 or the Zombrex right before case 6. So I joined in with him, we finished the game on his file, he got his trophy, and then he was going to help me with my playthrough. And that also meant that I only needed to play up until the last dose of Zombrex for Katie, which was kind of nice. It would speed up the future playthrough a little bit, or it would feel like it sped it up. So me and him played through case 1, so through the first Zombrex through case 1, no issues, get through all that, no problem. Then we have to get off for the night, again, no issue. And then he just completely ghosts me, never hear from him again. So then I go on PSN profiles and look for another partner. The next person I get on the first session that I make, he is responsive, at least at first, but I think he was in a different time zone, so it just wasn't going to end up working out. So that didn't work either, even though I think we tried to set up at least one session. Then I set up another session, and this time the first guy that joins, even though my thing explicitly says US time zone only, it's some guy from, I think he was from the UK. It must have been some kid or something, because he posted just a really stupid response in the comments of that, which was kind of funny. I don't have it saved or anything like that, because that area is gone now. That whole gaming session's deleted now. But yeah, it's like, apparently someone can't read. But after that, I managed to get another partner who I did end up finishing this with, but I literally did not hear from him for about a week because of his friend settings and like message settings were closed off pretty much. So I had to wait until I could get in contact with him on PSN profiles to tell him, hey, change your settings so we can join each other. And then once that happened, we were able to start up the game finally. And it only took 2 nights to finish. The first night we played through, I want to say like case 4-ish. Yeah, like early case 4 or something. And then we finished off the rest of the game the next night. I got my trophy before him, but of course I'm not the kind of person that leaves after getting their trophy, so I stayed in and we made sure he got his trophy. He was definitely a little bit less experienced because I don't think he'd ever played through the game before, so no problems there. Just, messing around with the game some more, having fun with it. And, I mean, even when we were doing that, the game still managed to crash like 4 times while we were playing through the story, so that was wonderful. Or, I don't think it was necessarily that it crashed like 3 or 4 times. there were a couple of times where he just straight disconnected because the servers just aren't very good. So the game crashed a couple times, he disconnected a couple times, but ultimately we were saving so often that it really wasn't that much of a problem, and we got through the game. So thankfully, co-op is finally done. I never have to touch co-op in Dead Rising 2 again, though whenever I end up deciding to do off the record, we will have to touch on co-op again. Though thankfully with that game you only ever need one person, which is kind of nice. So the only trophies I have left are the Zombie Genocider trophies. Currently, I'm well over 20,000 kills in. I can't remember exactly what number I got to on this past, Thursday night when I streamed. But over the course of 3.5 hours, it was going kind of slowly, and the game just crashed twice on me. And by that point, I was just kind of over it at that point, because it was just... the game's just not going to be nice to me. It just decides to keep crashing. So here's what's going to happen with this. Before the next stream of this game, I'm going to grind my way up to about 53,000 zombie kills and finish any case files along the way. The best way to do this is to finish all the case files and the Zombrexes for Katie along the way, because that will extend the game by 19 hours, even though the case files only take maybe 6 hours to get through total. Maybe a little bit more than that, maybe 8 hours, but either way, it extends the game by a full 19 hours, and then it extends it even further if you go into overtime by another 12 hours. So you absolutely want to make sure that you're doing all of that, because it's going to make your playthrough much easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind my way up to about 53,000 kills off screen, doing everything I need to get to that point. And then the final stream of this game will be the last 20,000 kills that we need, or 19-ish thousand kills that we need at that point. It is very grindy, and yes, you can do it without doing the case files, but if you decide to go about it with the non-case file route, you're going to be in a lot tighter of a time limit. It's very, very strict in that case, I guess would be the right word. So I would definitely recommend doing it the case file method, mostly because that also breaks up the boredom of trying to go through the game and just driving in circles for 6 hours killing zombies. So I would definitely recommend that method, but we should be having this platinum on Tuesday or Wednesday night of this week. And I will talk more about that in a second when we talk about streams and other plans for the week. Next game, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, the new game plus DLC released. And, okay, you guys can criticize me all you want for this, but I did use the debug menu for the one, 12-hour period that it was available. I did use it because, look, I liked this game. I liked Spider-Man 2. The game was a lot of fun. 100%ing it that first time was a lot of fun. But the idea of just playing through the entire thing again is just so redundant and honestly boring that there's really no reason to do so aside from getting this one trophy. So the fact that they made a way by accident, but still made a way to make it easier, I decided to go with that option because, quite frankly, I didn't really have 8 hours laying around to play through that entire story again. I would have played through it on the easiest difficulty, so it wouldn't have been any remote challenge at all. It would have just been a massive time sink. And again, I don't really have that kind of time right now. I have more important stuff to focus on, like games and guides to write, and mostly big games coming out this coming week. I know I already said games, but regardless, I did use that method, and I will not take any crap for that. Well, you can give me crap all you want for that. I'm not going to care if you do, because, again, it really, that trophy didn't need to be in the game now. It really should have been in the game probably from the start instead. But, hey, it's done. I don't have to touch this game again until the actual DLCs eventually come out, which I am excited for, because those will be, actual gameplay within the main game and such. So the debug menu was also really cool, and I think it would have been cool if they had left it in the game, because apparently you can do stuff like go around playing as Venom and stuff like that, which is actually pretty cool. You can just mess with game settings. That would actually be a lot of fun, but unfortunately they took it out within 12 to 24 hours of it becoming noticeable that it was there. Thankfully the game was already installed on my console, or else I might have risked missing it, because I got that trophy at 7 p.m. on the 7th, so I think that trophy was patched by the next morning, or that debug menu was patched by the next morning, so I got through it right at the last second, pretty much. But that platinum trophy is up to 18%. I'm actually a little bit surprised it's not actually higher than that, because on PSN profiles, I think it's at 60%. It's the most commonly obtained PlayStation 5 Platinum so far, I think, unless maybe Ratchet & Clank is up there as well. but it doesn't look like anything's changed in the base trophy list. I wanted to see if any of the like trophy descriptions or anything changed. But I will say that some of these trophies are going to become just a little bit easier now because with this update, you can now replay missions, which is going to make some of these specific trophies a little bit easier and a little bit more fun to do. For example, let's see if I can find it. Yeah, this one. This trophy was really, really hard to do in the open world, so now you can just replay stealth missions and easily knock it out. So thankfully they added in the mission replay, and that is going to make certain trophies for sure easier. So yeah, that was Spider-Man 2. It looks like 0.2% of players use that glitch or just sped through the game, so that's cool and all. But like I said, I mean, I liked the base game a lot. I liked playing through it. It was a lot of fun to 100% at one time. But a lot of people really didn't end up liking it as much, I think, as we kind of thought we would. And the idea of just playing through the whole thing again, just rushing through the story, was just not particularly interesting to most people. So, yeah. And especially since there actually wasn't a difficulty-based trophy, knocking on my new wooden table here, there was not a difficulty-based trophy for it, even though there is a higher difficulty now in the game. So we'll see if that gets added in much later as sort of a screw you to the players that use this method. We'll have to see. I mean, I beat the game on the second highest difficulty available from the start, so I think I'd be able to do it. I just wouldn't be really looking forward to it. And finally, Resistance Retribution on the PS4. I am slowly slogging my way through this pile of crap. In my opinion, it is a giant pile of crap. I have not enjoyed the game in the slightest. It's just really, really kind of boring, repetitive, annoying at times. You'll get just swamped by huge numbers of enemies. The enemies are all just super bullet spongy. Your weapons aren't the most accurate. Like, even your main sort of assault rifle sort of jumps all over the place when you try to shoot it. So I have not really been enjoying this game, but I am making steady progress through it. I'm not going to touch the PS5 version for a while, purely because I'm worried that they're going to add DLC into this game, because apparently there's some other infected mode or something that was in the original PSP game, and it's not in the game right now. So I don't know if we're ever going to end up getting DLC trophies for that, if it ever is going to get patched in, because, well, looking at Killzone Liberation, that game, it came with the Chapter 5 that was originally DLC, but Chapter 5 never had any trophies to it for some reason, which really didn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't really understand why they wouldn't have included that, but, you know, it's their choice, whatever. But with this game, I am just a little bit worried about that, and I really don't want to have to play through this game more times than I really have to, because, again, it has not been a fun experience. Some of those little crawly things, they're so freaking annoying, because unless you have a fully charged SMG, they are really annoying to kill, because that ability, like, shoots a little flying disc around that'll burn through 4 or 5 of them at once. But if you don't have that, they're way too hard to kill because the guns just aren't accurate, and sometimes you'll hit things and just won't count the hits. So yeah, I have not been enjoying this game, but I'm getting closer to being done. I completed, looks like 7 levels over the course of the last week out of the like 23 levels that there are in the game. So from what I can remember, this one, I don't really remember what that one was. I don't really remember what that one was either, but it was at least a little bit shorter. Then we got into these missions, which some of these weren't as bad. This defensive bunker mission, I think this one was actually kind of fun because you got to use turrets for a lot of it, so it made it a lot easier. The upper tunnels was a fairly short level overall from what I remember. I didn't have too many problems with this one. The lower tunnels was a really long level, but it actually wasn't overly difficult. I didn't have too much trouble with this one. Then this is, yep, that's the next to last one I finished. What was this one? Was this the one where... was this the one where you start off on like a raised platform and you just fight a bunch of enemies from far away for a while and then you sort of go up past them and all? I think that this mission was the one, I think that is what it was, and it also pits you up against that giant drill-looking thing that you had to kill in the tunnel as a boss fight for some reason. Then this level, I mean, it didn't take super long, but it was kind of annoying because it was just a lot of big groups of enemies, especially right at the end. But it looks like the remaining levels, the next like 3 of the 4 remaining levels are at least shorter. because that one is pretty common as a trophy compared to this one, and it's also a mech level, which is way more fun. And then this level looks like it's going to be super short, same with this one, so that's kind of good. And then this final level is possibly going to be a lot worse. Looks like it's going to be a lot longer. But with this, I also need to say, apparently, one of the patches broke the game and actually made the platinum unobtainable for a lot of people, to where this final trophy will not unlock for a lot of people. So that is just absolutely wonderful. I'm going to make sure to back up my save before I go into this final mission, and I'm going to hope it doesn't screw me over, but with my luck, it will absolutely screw me over, because that's how life with trophy hunting works for me. Then, of course, there are the 4 miscellaneous trophies in the game. The Auger is the really good weapon that shoots through surfaces. It's a great weapon, especially later in the game. You just have to fire it 100 times. You don't have to get 100 kills or anything like that. Just fire it 100 times. Die 1 time is about as self-explanatory as it gets. Kill 50 enemies is unmissable. You'll get it in the first or second mission of the game. The 10 different weapons, I think I'm on 9 at this point, because there's the basic assault rifle that you start the game with. There's the SMG. There's the frag grenades. There's the rocket launcher. There's the shotgun. There's the chain gun. There's the auger. There is, did I say the sniper rifle? Okay, hold on. Let me retry that. Assault rifle, SMG, frag grenades, sniper rifle, shotgun, rocket launcher, chain gun. Then there's going to be an upgraded version of the auger that we get at the very end of the game. That's the last weapon that I need for this. And I think like the knife, and there's maybe one other one that I'm forgetting, but this one's supposed to be pretty much unmissable as long as you use every weapon that you get throughout the game, so shouldn't be much of a problem. So yeah, getting close to finishing this game. If the final trophy is able to be unlocked, I will have this platinum done most likely this week. But you never know if the trophy's going to work or not, so I guess we will find out about that later in the week, whenever I'm playing that in my free time, because I got more important games to be playing this week. So let's go ahead and sync up our trophies. Alrighty, level 859, 22%, 27,795 total trophies, 791 platinums, 5,233 golds, 7,445 silvers, 14,326 bronzes. So, what are the plans for the upcoming week? There are quite a few of them. One of the main plans is, of course, to finish Dead Rising 2. That is the biggest plan of this upcoming week. I really want to get that game done this week. And if everything goes right, we should be able to finish that game off on live stream on either Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on which day is a little bit better for me. I would also like to finish off Resistance Retribution this week, but I am definitely worried about the possibility of that one trophy glitching out. So I might just play all the way up until the final mission and wait and see if the game gets a patch for a little while or something like that. We will figure it out, though, as the week goes on. But alongside all of that, there is something much more important coming down the pipeline a little bit later this week that I cannot wait for. That is, of course, Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. I will be picking that up on day 1, which is Thursday. I'll be picking that up day 1, and I will be streaming that game on day 1. I cannot wait for that. Again, Star Wars Battlefront 2 is one of my all-time favorite video games. I cannot wait to play it again. That is going to be so much fun. 64-player online battles, plus all sorts of like new characters and maybe even some new maps and such, but it's going to have all the old modes. The only one I'm not sure if it's going to have is if it's going to still have the Rise of the Empire campaign. I would hope that it will, because that was actually pretty fun. It was pretty challenging too, from what I remember toward the end. But even if it didn't have that, I'm still going to be, of course, picking the game up day 1 and playing it and streaming it a lot. Hopefully, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday are all going to be streams of that game. But otherwise, I do have other stuff I got to take care of this weekend. Some more stuff in prep for the wedding and the bachelor party trip and all that kind of stuff. So that might interfere a little bit with things I'm planning on playing. But otherwise, it should be a fairly normalized schedule. The Destroy All Humans 2 trophy video is... The initial editing is done and the script is finished, so it's just editing everything together at the end. So don't know if it'll go up this week because we'll be busy playing other games, but we will have to see about that. And then there's the next Fallout lore video, which is kind of on hold for the moment just because I know this week's going to be super busy with Star Wars Battlefront and with the fact that I'm still working on the trophy guide or full walkthrough thing for Fallout 76. We still got a long way to go on that. I wouldn't see that being out until sometime in April probably, if even that early, because I think that we're both going to be playing other stuff some this upcoming week. But yeah, that is the current plans for the week. So thank y'all for watching. If you enjoyed, I hope you'll leave a like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you haven't done so already. Let me know down in the comments what you've been working on this past week and if you're as hyped as I am for Battlefront. And I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, schedule should be pretty normal this week. Not too much more else to talk about. So yeah, I will see y'all later this week for hopefully the Platinum Trophy in Dead Rising 2 and the start of Star Wars Battlefront. So see you guys then.